Okay, so um, I do feel an emotional connection to the Twin Cities. I've lived here for 4 years, and those 4 years have felt like a lifetime for me, considering the what's been going on with like the Black Lives Matter movement and some personal changes of me leaving the college stage and transitioning into the real world, so to speak. I've had a lot of growth happen, and because of that growth, there's a lot of pain, there's a lot of joy, there's a lot of just changes that have happened in my life while I've been in the Twin Cities, and being exposed to all of the culture here, all of the mess, like even the racism and all of that has impacted me as a person, and of course that's going to be emotional. Like, I'm going through a lot of stuff, and like it's very heavy on my emotions. So yeah.
Well, I've experienced most of my changes as a person while living here, because I've lived here most of my life, with few exceptions. But I think a lot of the ways that I've changed have been about finding out how to not just be mentally stuck here. Because I think no matter where you're from, if you're where your family is, you can sort of become stuck in all of the good and bad things that you inherited from them. And if you're where all of your friends grew up, you can become stuck in those cycles and patterns too. And you can find sort of comfortable pockets to live in that don't require you to grow in certain ways. So I think I've changed in the time that I've lived in Minneapolis by constantly making a deliberate effort, I would say, to change, to know what a bigger world is, to not just be comfortable and just be isolated in the isolating aspects of Minneapolis. And I think the experience that maybe helped me change the most was working at Humboldt, which is a school where 90% of the population is they're not a middle class population, and they're not a white population. They're majority immigrants and students of color. And I just I would never have had that experience of the Twin Cities. It's not in Minneapolis. It's technically in St. Paul, but it's not a super different ethnic makeup. They're basically the same city to me. But I wouldn't have had this experience in Minneapolis had I not worked there, and it was super transformative. On the one hand, because I didn't have a super normal upbringing, I didn't really have a normal middle class upbringing, and so working with kids who had experienced some of the same traumas that I had was really eye-opening, and kind of helped me accept myself and understand a lot of the feelings that I had, a lot of the stuff that I inherited from my family. And on the other hand, I realized holy crap, we are so segregated here, and that is a real problem, because we don't understand the beauty and value that a huge portion of our population would be capable of bringing to every aspect of our culture. So it made me extremely aware of in what ways this place is limited and how I want to impact life here, I guess, if that makes sense.